I think we're live now. Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today I'm just doing a little live stream for you guys on a Tuesday night. Do a little Q and A, a little hangout session, and kind of talk about some things that are going on. I've been having a pretty crazy week. It's been pretty nuts, and I've got a little break, so I figured I would come to you guys. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is my favorite fish, which is definitely a clownfish. But no, I'm just kidding. And so Will always asks what my favorite fish is, so I figured I would go ahead and answer that one right away. No, one of the things I want to talk about is I've gotten a lot of feedback about the backgrounds. And because I've been doing new stuff. Big thanks to my patrons on Patreon. One of the things we got is I got a green screen. There have been a lot of there's just been a lot of changes I've been going through, and one of them is the fact that I live in Florida and it's becoming summertime, and a lot of times I will film out in my garage where I have kind of like a lot of my setup, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to do that due to the incredible heat in Florida, as well as a garage. So a green screen kind of lets me, in theory I could just take a picture of the garage and put that behind me, but yeah, so we have some different backgrounds, but I've had a lot of talk about the backgrounds. Some of them have not been very popular, and but my day has been pretty awful for a lot of other reasons that I'm not going to go into right now. But yeah, so that's neither here nor there. But so the cool thing is there's different backgrounds that I can use, and so through the magic of technology, I could be out in the Milky Way galaxy. Which one is this? One is actually pretty cool. This one is actually pretty cool. We can teleport anywhere we'd like to go. We could find ourselves traveling through hyperspace, something like this, or if we really wanted to get crazy, through the magic of technology, we could be whisked away to luxurious places such as Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware. Bonus points if you happen to know what that was a reference to. But we're gonna deal with some questions. Oh, this one's pretty cool. This one's pretty cool. I like this one. All right, I think we'll go with this one for right now. But we have some crazy ones that we can change it up to also, and there are some that would give people seizures too. Actually, another thing that I can do, I can slow it down. There we go. Let's see, should I slow it down a little more? Let's see. Oh yeah, but see, slowing it down too much, it does that. I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah. So this one, I don't know if this one's going to be good. All right, we got to speed it back up a little bit. All right. There we go. That's a little bit better. How do you get Armada tickets for Gen Con? Well, let's talk about that. So Gen Con tickets just went on sale Sunday. So you have to already be registered on Gen Con. You have to have a badge, I'm pretty sure. And, you basically the way they were doing tickets this year was weird. You had to go into and add things to your wish list and get processed for them that way. You will, even if the Armada tournament is sold out, you will be able to play in the Armada tournament almost certainly. Primarily because a lot of people buy tickets to things even if they're not sure if they're going to be able to do it or not. I got a ticket for the Armada tournament. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it or not. A lot of that depends on my schedule, because I'll be teaching Armada also. And if I have to teach Armada, I'm not going to, do the tournament and then just have to drop out after this, the first round. you know. So like I won't take up a spot. I'll let somebody else have my spot. So, you know, but you will have to pay the $20 or so for, you know, just to get your entry. So you'll have to like buy like the generic tickets or something like that. So get at least enough generic tickets to cover the events you want to do, and you can always just you pay with generic tickets to get into the event at the day of. As pretty much the way that those events work. From what I understand, there's almost always extra availability, so you shouldn't have too much of a problem getting in there. Have a good time, and you know, yeah, hopefully that works out for you. Yeah. So, but let's see. Just got into X-Wing, and you like my videos and the stuff. Thank you. I'm just returned to X-Wing after a pretty big break. Like the Clone Wars Wave 3 really got me in, and Wave 4, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Wave 4 was put out for a June 6th release, so that's coming very soon. So that's exciting. That is exciting. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, another thing I'll talk about. I'm curious if any of you guys have seen the Kickstarter preview I did today for Icon. They didn't actually use my video on their Kickstarter page, which is weird because I don't take I don't like do videos. I don't charge to do Kickstarter previews, so like I kind of do them for the sake of, you know, hey, putting it out there and hopefully reaching more people, and I don't know, you know, they told me they were really happy with it too, because I sent it to them a week ago, and they seemed to really like it and didn't use it. So I'm curious, like, if there was maybe, was I critical? I don't think I was critical. I'm just curious if there was something like that just jumps out for like somebody who might be thinking about a Kickstarter and like, oh, well, he said this, so I'm definitely not gonna back this Kickstarter. I don't know. I didn't see anything like that, but that was one of the things that contributed to my lousy day. But that was definitely the least of the things. That was just kind of like the icing on the cake for a day that was already lousy. Did you go to MegaCon this past weekend? I did not. I had some family that did. I had a lot of stuff going on this weekend. I wasn't able to go to MegaCon, and I'm not really that big on, because like MegaCon is a fun con to go to for like if you're going to be able to go to panels and you know, if you're going to cosplay and stuff. But like it's not a gaming convention, so there's not a whole lot of gaming related stuff. So it's not a con I could really go and do a lot of work. You know, like not a lot of stuff I could cover there, so it's not a con that's like really interests me as much, and also it's like it's one of those deals where, you know, I've got kids, and so like to go there with the kids and they're all like, it's super crowded, and I get anxiety, you know, especially when the kids are like, I've got to keep an eye on them, and so I can't really like relax at all if I've got that, like, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You lose like 3 or 4 kids, and all of a sudden you're irresponsible. You know, no, I'm just kidding. But yes, so that's that, and that's certainly been going on. Let's change up the background a little bit. This one is good, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it up a couple of times here. You guys can vote if you don't like something or the other. Ooh, let's try this one. All right, let's try that. Oh, that is pretty cool. That definitely looks like a screensaver. It's definitely like maybe Windows 98 screensaver. Yeah, I like that one. That one's pretty good. All right, so we're going to talk a little more about. Let's see. What is your favorite X-Wing ship so far? That's a tough one because there have been a lot. I'm in 2.0. Speaking just in 2.0, it might be the Scimitar, or rather the Darth Maul ship, but I'm really liking the Delta 7. So even though it's like this thing, a lot of things I don't like about it, but I do like the capabilities. Like it's a ship I want to keep working with and getting better at. That's for sure. So yeah, and we're gonna see though, because I'm like, it'll be interesting to fly to, to see how the faction changes when I get some more ships with wave 4, and then wave 5 too. I don't know if wave 5 will be out before Gen Con, but if not, it'll probably be an early Gen Con release. Which means, dude, anybody who is going to Gen Con, if you play like all the games that I cover, it's gonna be rough, because you're gonna have early releases for everything. It's going to be early release for X-Wing Wave 5, possibly, Super Star Destroyer for Armada, campaign for Armada, Legion Clone Wars core set, Legion Clone Wars expansions. I mean, maybe even more stuff. Maybe Destiny pre-release, maybe an RPG book. I just started an RPG session last night. It's pretty cool. Speaking of which, I have a little mini I want to make for it, too, which is kind of fun. Might do some of that later. Do you think Canada will be affected by the U.S. tariffs for X-Wing? Yes. Primarily because FFG imports the stuff, to the U.S. and then ships from there. So they're going to be dealt the penalties from that, is my understanding. If they were, and some people have talked about this, because this is a big hot button issue. I think if they were to change their import, and like change their headquarters to maybe to somewhere in Europe or something like that, and then ship from there, then that would totally change things, because then apparently we would be buying European goods, and so I wonder if that's going to. I wonder if these tariffs are actually going to, if it stays, if that would actually cause more jobs to go overseas. It's interesting the unintended consequences that something can happen. But yeah, I think everybody's going to be hit by this. And it's, I don't know. I'm not a fan. I think trade is a really good thing. Generally, we shouldn't discourage trade, because if I'm really good at making bananas and you're terrible at making bananas but really good at making oranges, it's most efficient for me to make bananas and you to make oranges, and then we can just trade them, because we're going to have more bananas and oranges, and we're going to have spare for everybody else. But like the whole tariff thing and the whole like, oh, we need to only buy American or whatever, like it's like, well, yeah, but we're not good at making bananas, so why are we trying to? I'm using bananas just as a hypothetical. If we're not good at growing this fruit, why are we forcing people to grow fruit just because? Like I don't think I agree with that concept. I think if you're good at growing bananas, then you should be able to make a living growing bananas, regardless of where you were born, geographically. But but that's just me. I think trade is a good thing. We let everybody do what they're best at, and then let's trade and be the most efficient we can. It's one of the reasons why you can't make miniatures, miniature board games and stuff here in the United States, because we don't have factories to support board games with like that kind of that small a print run. And that's and the games that are made in the United States have been really low quality. So. I've seen some really crappy American-made games. So at least produced in the United States, not necessarily that American companies are bad, but we don't necessarily have the manufacturing and production capability to meet the demands of our people. Let's see, what else do we have here? What are your thoughts on Star Wars Legion Clone Wars, Separatist versus Galactic Empire, or Empire versus Republic, 4 factions? Oh, I think it's going to be great. I love the idea of 4 different factions. I absolutely do. It really makes me want like a King of the Hill mode. I really want something like that. I want a free-for-all multiplayer scenario mode, something like that we can like have because like at least in my area, like when we have just like Sunday play, like open play for Legion, and people just show up and play, and there's always like an odd number of people or somebody new who like, you know, like is just, if you have an odd number of people, if you have like a new person, it seems like you're more likely to want to do some kind of group game instead of just, you know, like, oh, you know, the new person gets paired up against the veteran and gets annihilated or whatever, because not everybody's good at like doing a teaching game, right? So, you know, like, so a multiplayer game is a little bit more friendly for that, because then you can kind of cooperate and play together with a group, a bigger environment. And, you know, like, I'm like, I would just, but I don't like playing team games. Like, I want to play, sometimes I don't mind playing team games, but I don't want to always be put in that situation. And it seems like that is something that ends up happening quite a bit. Is like, it's always like a situation that it's like, oh, it's not going to be awkward if, you know, we just pair up 1v1, because then either somebody's going to be left out or somebody's going to be significantly outmatched, or, you know. And so like in those situations, a big group game would be ideal. So I always see situations where a big group free-for-all game would be ideal. And I think once you have enough Jedi from the Clone Wars combined with a few more heroes from our current timeline, you can have a really cool, like, pick one character and go. You know, we need a few more things to make it really work. Like, you need a way to try to balance Leia versus Palpatine. And what I think is, you get one character, you get 250 points, and then you have a whole bunch of like 20 and 30 point upgrades that you can equip them with, like +1 health for 20 points, you know, +1 white die when attacking for 10 points, +1 black die when attacking for 20 points, +1 red die when attacking for 30 points, etc. Maybe things like that. You know, so something like, I mean, and again, this is just off the top of my head. It's not stuff I put that much thought into, but some kind of system like that would be really, really fun, and I would love to see something like that. And maybe a different type of balancing with the way they did it in Epic Duels, where if you bring a weaker character, they come with an entourage. So maybe Leia, you know, you pick Leia, but she also gets a couple of troopers with her too. You know, something like that. I would love to see something like that. And, you know, the Clone Wars is going to give us a whole lot, especially a lot of Jedi and Sith, which would be really fun. And I'd love to just do a big battle royale. Everybody gets their own Jedi, like Kit Fisto versus Mace Windu versus Anakin Skywalker versus Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader versus Boba Fett versus Bosk versus Jango Fett. You know, like just everybody in this big battle for the center. Maybe you also play command cards at the same time. You know, I just think it's cool. And you know what? Maybe you come up with some extra command cards too that are only for like the battle royale mode. I don't know. It's all kinds of. It'd be a cool like kit too. Why the battle royale mode starter kit has 3 different command cards that are only used for battle royale, but it has for every character that has come out already. And this way, when a new character comes out, then now you come out with regular command cards and battle royale cards. It's a cool idea. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's a terrible idea. I would love it. But yeah. As someone who's just getting into Armada and doing okay due to this channel, thank you. How does one get a hold of ships like the Chimera that are out of print and unavailable? Well, you know, you gotta look at different places. I haven't looked for that one recently, but I would definitely go to places like Discord, the Armada Discord, to the Reddit, the Armada Reddit, the FFG forums, in case somebody happens to put the word out that you're looking for one. You might be able to find one on eBay fairly cheap, because like the Chimeras were overabundant for a while, over the way 7 stuff was. Or just be patient. A lot of this stuff will come back in stock. It definitely will. And so, you know, I think you just have to probably be patient for a while. And honestly, you can, and somebody just suggested Facebook buy and sell also is I mean, I don't know the specific Facebook groups to go to exactly, but I think you're just gonna have to look elsewhere on online. If it depends how bad you want it. If you want it now, I'm sure you can find it. If I go to eBay or something like that right now, let me see. Armada. I'm going to search for an Armada. For Armada Chimera expansion. 70. Oh, there's one for 58. Plus 45 shipping. What? That's crazy. Okay. 77. So that's like an extra $25 more. Oh, that's a German version. Let's see, Armada. Let's see, 77. You could probably also get, well, let's see. You could probably just get a regular Star Destroyer and just get like the spare ship cards too from somebody who has some extra. It's also another option. Yeah, there's not many of them, are there? I wonder about on Amazon. Sometimes Amazon has. I'm actually looking for the Chimera now. Let's see. $120. Wow. That's a little bit ridiculous. Profundity is only $39.99 though. So it's funny how like one Wave 7 ship is common, the other one sold out. Probably because I put it as one of my, like, what to buy first. I mean, it's a good value. You get 2 Gauntlet fighters and a ship and 3. I mean, like, it's a good value. It's the Chimera. They'll come back in stock though. If you can get it online. There's a couple of stores. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on eBay. I'm sure there's other places. Maybe even Board Game Geek and a buy and sell. You could probably get one used. A really good way to do it is if somebody's quitting, you buy like a used collection. You can usually get stuff very, very cheap there. But yeah, I'm sure you could probably work a deal with somebody as well if you don't want to wait. Other than that, the alternative is to wait for it to come back in print. It will eventually, but sometimes that can take a while. It might be a few months. Let's see. Let's get some other ones. Should Armada have a scum faction? I don't think so. I don't think the scum and villainy, as they are, well, at least as they're represented in other games like Imperial Assault or X-Wing, have a place in Armada, because it's like full-blown fleets, and scum are kind of less organized and more like individual fighters and medium ships. I just don't see that. You said in a previous video that you were going to Gen Con. Are you going in support of FFG or as an individual? I'm going in support of FFG. I was just going to go as an individual and just kind of have a good time until I saw the cost of hotels. I waited too long. I think I needed to like book a hotel way sooner, or budget for. I mean, like $1,000 a night. I can't. There's no way I could even, even splitting it like with 4 other people. I couldn't do that. So that's one of the things. Like working for FFG, they do take care of housing for certain events, not for every event, but this is one that qualifies for that. So that's what enables me to go. I like. If I was closer, I could probably get a cheaper hotel that was farther away and just drive in. But if I'm going to drive in because I have a full-time job in addition to doing all of this stuff, so I can't, I've already got to take a bunch of days off of work, but I would have to take like an extra week or so off of work just for travel, and I can't afford to do that. I have to save vacation time for actual emergencies and things. So for my logistical situation, it's just, I can't do that right now, so I can't. Ideally, though, if I was closer, I could just drive into the con. I could get a cheaper hotel farther away and just drive, commute back and forth. Like when they have conventions down here in Orlando, it's a lot easier for me because I can just drive in and out each day. I don't have to worry about hotel. My biggest expense for all that is parking, and that's not bad. That's like $10-20 a day, somewhere around here, depending on where you go. But yeah, have you heard if the Chimera for Armada will ever be back in stock? So I just talked for like 20 minutes about that. Probably, yeah, someday, but it's going to be a while. All right, but yeah, so I'm still going to be working for FFG. I mean, I will have some personal time as well, but I'll probably end up having to work every day. So I don't think I'm going to be able to play in the Armada tournament, which is a bummer. And because I did get a ticket, and I'm like, so that's at least one open spot. So if there are none left, still, try and go and see if there's because I'll probably just exchange my. If that happens, I'll probably end up exchanging my ticket for generic tickets or something like that. Because I can maybe play in some other event. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I just wanted to get a ticket just in case the stars lined up and I was able to go. And I may be able to go. One thing I'm probably gonna do though, I'm probably gonna bring at least a fleet with me and try to get like a casual game in or something like after the tournaments are done. Like that would be fun. I would have a good time with that. Because there's a lot of folks that like I talk to online that to play with and stuff. It would be really fun. Probably can't bring fleets for every game though. I'm not going to be able to do like Armada and Legion and X-Wing and all of that. So I'll have to just pick. And Legion, I'm afraid things would get broken in transit. So I think Armada is probably the most rugged that I can do. Let's see. Let's see. In 2.0, I think you mean the Lambda shuttle got a major upgrade. Have I used it in play? I have not used the Lambda. I haven't played a whole lot of X-Wing 2.0. And I know I cover X-Wing. I have started this channel with X-Wing. And I've really like shifted away from X-Wing a lot. I still play, but not nearly as much as I used to. I used to be able to talk about every ship in detail. And I'm just not as able to do that like off the cuff. I know the Lambda did get some cool upgrades. I think it's got the rear arc. There's so much to X-Wing right now. It's even like the people who do X-Wing full time will still have to look things up occasionally. But so it's very difficult to like Armada. I can talk about like all of the ships a little bit more easily because there's less ships available, and I play Armada a decent amount. I probably play Armada and X-Wing about the same right now. But there's so much less to Armada that it's easier to just keep it all in this section of my brain, and then X-Wing's over here, but there's like that much more to X-Wing, so I can only keep certain parts in the front in my filing cabinet in my head. But no, I have not played the Lambda yet. I haven't played a whole lot of Empire, and I haven't played even. I've done a little bit of Rebels. I don't think I've played Empire a single. No, I did play Empire one time in 2.0, and it was just a TIE swarm. Did not do very well with it. So I've only had a single Imperial game of X-Wing 2.0, and it was only TIE fighters. So yeah, that's I'm ashamed to admit that. I would love to be able to play more, but I'm trying to get a little bit. There's so many factions now, and that's a good problem to have. To be honest, it is a pretty cool problem to have. Do you think the Twilight will come out for X-Wing, and do you think the Delta 7 will be able to dock with it? The Twilight, is that the hyperspace ring? Because I don't think they will make that for X-Wing. It doesn't have anything to do with dogfighting in space, so I don't see that being a thing. You said that you were going to Gen Con. Are you at the Crabbok booth? No, there's not going to be a Crabbok booth. So if you do go to Gen Con, I will probably be wherever FFG has Armada demos, but I won't know exactly where I'm going to be for a while because basically I'm able to talk about X-Wing, Legion, Armada, Outer Rim, and a lot of the different games that FFG has. So I'm kind of put myself out there to do whatever they want. But I think they kind of they generally tend to put me where I request, and I usually request Armada because there's not as many other all the other games have more of a wealth of people applying to do demos, and a lot of people that are in house that are already kind of on the demo team to demo those games. And I'm usually pretty eager to represent Armada at these big cons. The little story is last year at Gen Con, apparently I was down for Legion, which I have no problem with because Legion's great, and so that's fine. But I didn't think they were going to have Armada, because it just didn't look like it was on the schedule. And then we show up and there's an Armada table and nobody there to demo it. It's just components just sitting out, like a couple of boxes sitting out on a table as we're setting up on day one, and there was nobody to teach Armada, nobody scheduled for Armada. So granted there were like 2 or 3 Legion tables. So like I just said, all right, I'm going to cover both of these. Like I'll cover my Legion table, or like I talked to the other Legion guys, because the demo team is really a great bunch of folks, super awesome people that work together for this demo team. And so I'm like, all right, if we can kind of tag team coverage of this third Legion table, I'm gonna try to cover Armada. And then I talked to the people that were running it, and they were fine with that. And they were like, yeah, I think it was just they slipped through the cracks, because Gen Con's a very busy time for FFG. It's like their biggest event of the year, for reaching the public and everything. And so I think it just fell through the cracks. But I was like, I'm glad I was here, because otherwise they might not have had anybody that could actually teach Armada. And so it's another reason I like to go, just to make sure that our great game gets the representation, at least some representation. So yeah. Let's see. Do you think FFG should create some space station models for Armada? Absolutely. That's a great idea. I totally think they should do that. I mean, there's some pretty good ones out there. There's the Fondor Shipyards that Mel Miniatures has put out. That one's really cool. I like that. I really, really love the Deep Space Nine one from WizKids. That's like the best space station I've ever seen. Though, so but it'd be kind of cool if they did some stuff like that. And I think it'd be really fun for like scenario play, also, if they were to do that. Let's see. What is the one X-Wing card you personally would like to come back to 2.0? Oh man, that's a tough question. I used to really like the heavy laser cannon, the old version where it's just range 4 dice. That might be a little broken. The problem is a lot of the stuff that I was very familiar with and really, really liked was a little bit overpowered. So that's dangerous. There were certain things that were just kind of go-to cards. There's certain things that I definitely wouldn't want, like Veteran Instincts, for example. But boy, what's the one? Oh, I know. The B-Wing E2, the ability to be able to put a crew on the B-Wing. That's I'm going to go with that. As an option. I think I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'd like to be able to outfit my B-Wings a little bit better. Let's see. So let's see. This is you're asking about a Star Destroyer and an X-Wing. So it's bigger than the Tantive V4. So why not gigantic ships in X-Wing? FFG's not going to be able to do that. The biggest ship they've ever tried to create is the Super Star Destroyer for Armada, and that is about twice the size of the Tantive V4, but that's still not even in the ballpark of how big a Star Destroyer would have to be for X-Wing. A Star Destroyer would be about 19 feet long if you put it in X-Wing, which is absurd. So even if you were to give it a sliding scale, you're still not going to have it fit on the map. So one of the best things you can do is maybe have a playmat with a Star Destroyer like below, and you're fighting above the Star Destroyer. I've seen some epic playmats where most of the Star Destroyer is like below the playmat, and they just have like the shield generator like popping up like it's 3D space. Like you're fighting on the plane above the Star Destroyer, and the shield generators are like at the right hand side of the map. I've seen something like that. That's probably about as close as you can get to doing that. Now that's why they created the Imperial Raider. FFG actually created the Raider with Lucasfilm for X-Wing. And that was the inspiration. I mean, of course, it's for the universe as a whole. It's not only for X-Wing. It's not exclusive to X-Wing. But FFG helped design the Imperial Raider, which is really cool because it's become a more popular ship, especially since Battlefront 2. And that's a beautiful thing. So I am all about the Raider, and it has that triangular appearance. It has that that feel of that triangular Imperial ship on your battlefield for X-Wing. And that's what's kind of meant to do that. I think the biggest you're ever going to see is probably those epic ships, maybe something slightly bigger. I think there's a chance they could do a little bit larger epic ships in Epic 2.0. Specifically, like things like maybe an Architans or a Nebulon B, which are a little bigger than the normal epic ships, but not so big that it couldn't be done. A lot of aftermarket people, a lot of third parties have made bigger ships for X-Wing. But I think if X-Wing or FFG is going to do it, I would love for them to adopt the idea of, you know, doing big ships in pieces. So it's not just like basically you should have to assemble it. So this way they can make a lot of small pieces and package it easier. Because from what I understand, one of the hardest things about making the Super Star Destroyer is that, like, I think the molds, it just wasn't working. Like because they're selling it as one complete monstrously huge ship, and I think that's the problem. It should have been in pieces so we could put it together on our own. This way, I think we might have had it like years ago, you know. And so I'm more a fan, especially with something like the Nebulon B. You could just have a front section, a rear section, and a tube in the middle. And just pop it in. You could even like pop and lock it in and go. You know, like you don't have to make it all one thing. You know, it's probably more likely to break in transit. Also, if you do that. All right, let's see. We'll take some more questions. Let's change the background up before I take some more. Somebody said hyperspace. So, oh, let's look at this one. I haven't done this one yet. This is probably not hyperspace. Oh, that's creepy. That's pretty creepy. We're not gonna stay on that one though. This is gonna give somebody a seizure. All right, let's go into hyperspace. There we go. All right, that's about the closest I've got to hyperspace right now. That's kind of like a hyperspace. It looks a little bit more like Star Trek warp. Oh, it's pretty cool though. Let's see. Why was the SSD delayed? I think I just talked about that. It was, you know, I think it had to do with the physical model of the ship, but there was a lot of different things. You'll be in Orlando on Thursday. Touring UCF. Is Sci-Fi City open on Thursdays? They are. I don't know if anybody is playing. They used to do open board games on Thursday night. But Thursday there's another gaming store much closer to UCF, the campus, only a few blocks away, called Cool Stuff Waterford. It's Cool Stuff Games, or you may have heard of them. They have a lot of stores in Orlando, and there's one that's very close. Has a lot of UCF students playing at it, and I will be at that one on. Well, I don't know if I'll be there on Thursday. I'm going to try and make it Thursday, but there's a lot of people playing X-Wing, and as well as other games like sometimes like Pokemon or Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or board games and stuff. So Cool Stuff Waterford is very close to campus, and they have tournaments on Thursday, or they have league night on Thursday. Is the WizKids DS9 the same size as the Attackwing model? Well, yes, it's the same thing. WizKids makes Attackwing. WizKids DS9 made a second DS9, or WizKids made like they came out with a whole line of their Attackwing stuff. And it's different. They like unpainted and primed already, so that was all of that stuff, and it was really cool. But if you wanted to just paint your own, and that's kind of what I did, and I think it has a little bit better detail as well. So I really like that one. Let's see. All right. Twilight was Anakin's ship in the Clone Wars cartoon. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, Twilight, I don't think they're going to do that. Although the interesting thing is because the Clone Wars cartoon was not included when they made everything, when they did the whole canon purge of the EU. So that's considered Legends now. But the cool thing is I'm pretty sure that same ship got adopted by Lego into the Lego stuff, and it's, I think, the Daisy May. I think it's basically the exact same design as Akbar's ship, Akbar's fighter, the Daisy May. So look that one up, though. I would love to see that one actually show up too, but I don't know if they'll do that. I think they should, though. I think it's worth doing. What's your thoughts on lower point games of Armada? Well, that's one of the things that's going to happen pretty soon. It doesn't really matter what my thoughts are because it's coming. The campaign, Rebellion in the Rim, is going to be offering that. So you're going to have 3x3 matches in an official capacity. You're going to have 200-point matches on a 3x3 mat. I have a lot of thoughts about that. One of my first thoughts is, boy, a commander is going to feel a lot more expensive. So maybe are commanders optional in a 200-point battle? I would hope so. Maybe you don't have to have a commander. Maybe you just run ships versus ships. I like that idea of not having a commander for a 200-point battle. I like the idea of quicker games. It's harder for me to really build a fleet that's only 200 points, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. All right, let's see. So yeah, I think one of the big problems, like there's three big problems with Armada, and none of them are showstoppers because it's still a great game. One is that squadrons can end up slowing down a game, and the squadrons just are kind of convoluted. So I wouldn't mind like a squadron refinement. But the other thing is the cost to entry is that it's expensive to get started. They need a cheaper entry point. But the third thing, and it's a big one, is that it takes so long to play. Like that 6x3 400-point list is another barrier to entry for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have that much table space to play on. Tournaments for X-Wing, you can fit twice as many people in because you're working with a much smaller game area, and a lot more stores have tables that can accommodate an X-Wing game, whereas not necessarily an Armada game. So because of that, I think the 200-point format will open up, if it's well received, it'll open up some new tournament space for Armada and get some more people playing, especially being able to play more games in a shorter amount of time. And that is exciting to me. But what I also worry about is that if you're running 200 points, you're probably not going to be running large ships. You'll probably be running mostly small ships. This is my guess. You'll probably be running small ships. And if you are running small ships, I feel like the meta is going to be dominated by the Demolisher. I feel like Demolisher is just going to completely dominate the meta. There's certain things that are just totally super, super strong with that point limit in mind. So I really would hope that the Rebellion in the Rim campaign box comes with new cards that are designed to work well in a 200-point environment that maybe tip the balance, and maybe Demolisher isn't the only title that's ever chosen for Gladiators. Maybe Gladiators aren't chosen all of the time. I don't want it to be nerfed into oblivion. I just want other ships to be viable as well in the small, because we did like a small ship only format. There's just certain things become very, very strong. A flotilla with Phylon tractor beams in a small ship only format becomes incredibly strong, because that flotilla can really screw with things like Demolisher, So there's all kinds of impacts to the game when you jump down to small small ships in a 200-point list. All right. Let's see, what else do we got here? Am I by a green screen? Yes, I have a green screen. And I talked about that at the beginning of the video, but my patrons on Patreon helped to facilitate the green screen, and we're able to do different things with the background now, and it's pretty cool. I'm in Florida, and it's very very expensive, or very, very hot rather, to live to do videos in the garage. So there we go. We can just change up the background pretty easily, and it's fun. It's a cool little thing that I got going on. So it's not all just static backgrounds. So that much is a fun little aspect. I have fun with it. Look here, this one's kind of trippy. That's wild. That's like super trippy. All right, let's go back to Starfield. Let's do regular space. Let's try this one. Oh, that's not space. That's not. Oh, that is actually that's pretty nice. Um, let's find which is the really good one. Is it this one? Let's try this one. Oh no, we did this one already. We did that one already. I gotta find the one I really like. What is this one? Oh, that's pretty. Okay, we'll stay here for a little while. I like that one. All right. So a starship battle in the background would actually be really cool. I was working on doing something. I don't know what happened to it. It was like a little test video. Oh, here I'll show you guys. This is the one. I was working on this as a background, but I didn't do it well enough. I was gonna have something like this, like just Armada stuff, and maybe change and like do a green screen and have an X-wing flying at the Star Destroyer and stuff like that. So this was just a like test footage for stuff that I could do in the background. So I'll leave this going for a little bit, but it's not shot very steady. You know, I changed a few things up a little bit, but we were, I thought it was fun. But this is one time though where I regret painting all of my bases white because they really stand out more than I want them to when doing shots like this. So, but let me know what you guys think of like something like this. What is one game mechanic in Armada you like and dislike? Well, I love a lot of the mechanics in Armada, but I think one of the things I love about Armada is the hull zones and the shields, and it's like you're not just attacking a ship, but you're attacking specific parts of a ship, and like so a ship can have mostly shields up, but if you concentrate your fire on one side, you can get through and blow them up. I love the tactics that go into that, but something I dislike about Armada. Maybe the lack of like a ship counterattack, kind of like the away activation advantage can, isn't really as balanced as I would like it to be. Like I would like to see, a little more like where if strategic advisor wasn't as crucial. I would love to see a ship counterattack ability. That would be really nice. Let's see. Record using Empire at War. That's not a bad idea. I haven't been able to get the mods to work yet for Empire at War, so I'd like to do more stuff for it, but that would be a cool option. Do you think they will ever do 3D mats for X-Wing Minis, U official 3D mats? I don't know what that means. They have mats for X-Wing. What would a 3D mat be for X-Wing? I don't know. I don't really know what that means. What a 3D mat would be. Let's see. I probably missed. I'm gonna probably wrap this up here pretty soon. Am I going to this year's Dice Tower Con? Yes, and that is actually one that I'm not going to be working for any company. I'm going just for myself. I'm gonna try and play games at Dice Tower Con. I'll probably still make a couple of videos, because they usually do have. There's gonna be stuff. There's gonna be stuff. Repaint all my stands black. I got a lot of ships. That's a lot of work. Is Outer Rim out yet? No, I don't know when that's coming out, but it'll probably be pretty soon. I've played it a ton already, though. I feel bad. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Let me know what you guys think of the the ships in the background. Am I going to Nova Open? No. There are 2 cons I'm going to this year that I'm aware of right now. I mean, this could change, but as of right now, can you do Can you star 200 points Armada start? No, I don't know what the rules are going to be for the 200 point format, so I'm not going to do any of that stuff yet. It really depends. Like we have to see once we get the rules, absolutely. But like I don't know if there's going to be a different conditions. Maybe you don't use objectives. Maybe there's special objectives. Maybe you don't use commanders. Maybe you have to still use a commander. I don't know, and I don't think the game as it is right now would work well. Just cutting the points in half. I don't think it'd be as good because a commander is going to be basically be twice as expensive and give you half as much benefit because you're not going to have that many ships. If you run an ISD, that's probably your only ship, because you have to have your commander on there too, and then some upgrades, and you can run an ISD and a Gazanti maybe. It's just I don't like it as is, so we have to see what else is going to come before I start doing 200-point batter ups for Armada. But all right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.